Welcome to beautiful Soma Bay in Egypt and the 2013 African Kiteboarding Course Racing Championships. A place very unique not only for its natural beauty, but also for its great sailing conditions with constant winds and flat water, perfect for kiting. The championship has attracted the best kiters from around the world. Set to be the biggest event after the Kiteboarding Worlds in Cairo last year, 2 fleets are being featured this time: course racing men and course racing women. Whilst the championship is open to all, the continental titles will be awarded to the top athletes from Africa. The location provided picture-book conditions on today's opening day of racing, with 4 races completed for each of the men's fleet and for the women. USA Doubles Course Racing World Champion and US Sailing's 2012 Yachtsman of the Year, American Johnny Heineken, and his teammate Adam Koch, who won the silver medal at the past 2 World Championships, are both competing here in Egypt, but are racing off against some strong competition, including the Italian Riccardo Lecchese, who enjoyed the intense battles with Heineken today as they were facing each other in the same fleet. The weather today benefited the pin end of the start line, and there were many racers who played a bold opening move, starting on port tack and managing to cross the rest of the fleet and head to the right side of the track. A similar situation unfolded for the women's races, where last year's second-placed runner-up in the world, Steph Bridge of Great Britain, delivered an almost flawless performance to score 3 bullets out of the 4 races and clearly relished the great conditions.
So far, it's been fantastic, beautiful sun and great wind. We've had some really great wind today. It's our first day of the competition. For me, I've got a bunch of girls that I'm riding with and they're all getting better. And there's a whole load of new ones that they're really fighting hard. So it's really close racing, and you make one mistake and you're behind. It's going to be fun. I mean, today I won 3 out of the 4 races, so I'm really happy for that. But I think I just didn't make too many mistakes.
Last year's world champion, Erika Heineken of the USA, did not seem able to follow Steph's performance and lies in 4th place overall, behind some young guns who have leapt forward in their race performance since last year, including the Russian Elena Kalinina, who is only 15 years old, and Poland's Agnieszka Biska, a former RSX Youth World Champion who has made the jump to kitesurfing and so far is certainly not regretting the choice. The event is organised by Royal Dream Tours, one of Egypt's leading travel specialists in arranging exceptional holidays around the world. Royal Dream Tours is specialised in water sports holidays. No wonder why the championship has attracted the best kiters from around the world. Alongside championship titles, an overall prize purse of €20,000 is offered by the event's sponsor, Royal Dream, that is committed to travelling in a way that is respectful of local people, their culture, local economies and the environment. With athletes' participation, they can help conserve the areas they visit and bring positive benefits to their host communities. Day 2 at the 2013 African Course Racing Championships, and the weather was not looking too promising early on in the day. The Gulf of Soma Bay here in Egypt, although breathtaking with its turquoise waters and natural beauty, was today like a mirror as the kiters anticipated Day 2 of the qualifiers. A few hours of patiently waiting ashore, and the kiters were rewarded as a light breeze filled into the Gulf, and everyone hit the water. For the men, it was about qualifying through to the Gold Fleet for the final series. In the men's fleet, it was the young German Florian Gruber who took advantage of the light breeze today and won both races in the Green Fleet to move up the leaderboard from 3rd to 2nd. Sitting firmly on top of the fleet is Italy's Riccardo Lecchese, who scored another win in race 5 and will lead the Gold Fleet going into the first day of finals. Gruber seemed unstoppable today and more than confident enough to play amongst the big names in course racing, despite his young years at just 19. Reigning world champion, Johnny Heineken, had difficulties trying to catch Gruber, and after retiring after finishing in race 5, went on to take a 4th in race 6 and stay in the top 3 of the leaderboard, just 2 points behind Gruber. Gruber has really focused over the past year, and after finishing 7th at last year's IKA Course Racing World Championship in Italy, has been putting in considerable time training racing, and holds the #1 spot on the Course Racing World Rankings, just ahead of Riccardo Lecchese, who is the world #2. In the women's first race of the day, it was the young Russian Elena Kalinina who led and achieved a major margin over the rest of the pack. Her lightweight certainly played to her advantage today, and she went on to score another win in race 6 and end the day where she started, in 2nd overall. Series leader going into race day 2, Steph Bridge from Great Britain, posted a 2nd in race 5 to help her stay in the top spot on the leaderboard. And moving up to third overall is the reigning course world champion, Erika Heineken, after a strong 4-2 scoreline pushes her up. Back in the men's fleet, things were less complex with the starting line today, and everyone opted to start on starboard tack closer to the race committee boat and hit the left side of the race course, which was clearly more favoured and had greater wind pressure. The breeze was around 7 to 11 knots all day, giving the opportunity for some kiters to leap back up the leaderboard after strong finishes, with Poland's Max Zakowski being one of those that dominated today. He hit the first mark in front and managed to hold his position to win race 6 and jump into the top 10 on the leaderboard from the 12th place he held at the end of yesterday's racing. Tomorrow sees the men split into gold and silver fleets for the final races, with the top 30 kiters now racing against each other. So with the best kiters in the same fleet, there is guaranteed to be added pressure and excitement on the racetrack. The level is incredibly high and anything can yet happen. The women will continue to race as one fleet, and it will be interesting to see how Bridge will respond to Kalinina's performance, as the wind tomorrow is set to increase and be similar to the conditions on the first day. After light winds on the second day, the third day of racing here in the 2013 African Course Racing Championships was quite the opposite, with the wind gusting up to 32 knots. A great example of how Royal Dream opens up a whole new world for travellers with a yearning to get off the beaten track. With a huge variety of travel styles available, Royal Dream travellers explore the Middle East's most amazing places, discovering real people, real cultures, and having incredible real-life experiences along the way. In the first race for the men, it was Joey Pasquale and Tomek Janiak that stepped off the line with a bold move, starting on port and crossing the rest of the fleet. But it was the reigning course racing world champion, American Johnny Heineken, who brought all his experience into play today and left the fleet behind him. He was first at the bottom gate, followed by Riccardo Lecchese, who at this point was still the series leader. Heineken kept his lead all the way to the finish line and celebrated victory and the start of his push up the leaderboard. Lecchese did not seem so happy with his performance, but he was simply outraced. On to the second race of the day, and again Heineken led the fleet to the downward gate. But this time chased by Brazilian Wilson Veloso and Lecchese in third. But Lecchese dug deep and passed the Brazilian to score another second place finish, leaving Veloso to cross the line in third. It then was USA's Brian Kender, with a solid performance scoring 2 fifth places to move up into the top 3 at the halfway stage of the day's racing. In the women's fleet, the day was set to belong to Erika Heineken, who dominated by scoring one bullet after another and closing in on the series leader Steph Bridge. After a stunning performance in yesterday's lighter conditions, the young Russian Elena Kalinina could not compete against the likes of Heineken and Bridge and was left further back in the leaderboard as she struggled to master the windier conditions. Erika was in her element. As the conditions matched those, she sails back home and are her favourite.
So today racing went really well for both myself and Johnny. We like windy conditions because that's what we have back at home in San Francisco. So the first 2 days of the event we were getting used to the lighter conditions, and kite choice was really important. And today it's pretty clear which kite you're on and just go fast in the strong winds. So I think we're both happy with all of our first places so far today.
The Dutch kiter Katja Roos seemed to enjoy the conditions, and after 2 third places on her scorecard, she closed into the top 3 and is within striking distance of a claim at the top 3 if she can maintain her consistency. Tomorrow is the last day of the final series, after which the top 10 of the men and women fleets will advance to the medal series scheduled for Friday. With just a few points separating the top kiters, racing is expected to become even more exciting as many fight for a place in the top 10. The wind conditions are expected to slightly decrease on day 4, so the tables may turn as the lighter wind specialists have an opportunity to return to form. After an exhausting and windy day for the 80 kiters competing on Soma Bay, Egypt at the 2013 African Course Racing Championships, the wind strength had decreased a little compared to the third day, making conditions a little less extreme, but still thrilling with the wind gusting up to 25 knots. The kiters enjoy every weather challenge thrown at them and are particularly enjoying racing in the unique backdrop of the bay.
First contest of the year, it's very important. I wasn't expecting that much from Egypt, but I'm really surprised. Like, this is a beautiful and amazing country. I'm just having so much fun, and with the locals, like, they're so polite and they want to make you feel at home.
In this concluding day of the final series, first to hit the water was the men's gold fleet, with everyone starting on starboard and close together. Series leader Johnny Heineken was on a roll yesterday and continued his winning way today, quickly opening up a big gap between him and Adam Koch in second, with Riccardo Lechese following closely. Heineken has so far been flawless in the final series and scored another bullet, with Lechese finishing in second after overtaking Koch, and with another American, Brian Kender, in fourth. These top finishers were now seriously threatening German's Florian Gruber in the overall standings, who was trying to defend his third place. In the second race, the two Americans, Koch and Pasquale, started on port, aiming to cross in front of Heineken, but he was simply unstoppable, just so fast in these conditions. Heineken rounded first at the downwind gate, this time followed by Lechese and Kender in third. While Heineken and Lechese had a solid performance extending their point difference from the rest, it was Kender who, despite his off-pace performance in the qualifying series, was now within touching distance of a podium place. In the women's fleet, it was Erika Heineken who started on port, followed by all the top pack in the leaderboard, and her move paid well as she rounded in first at the bottom gate, and most importantly for Heineken, in front of Bridge, positions they held to the finish. However, despite the strong challenge from Heineken, Bridge was clearly not ready to step down from the top of the leaderboard and upped her game for the second race of the day, looking more determined, and was first to the downwind mark, being pushed hard by reigning course racing world champion Heineken. Bridge held her lead on the second upwind, whilst Heineken fell behind and gave an opening for Holland's Katja Roos to get closer. After scoring a series of third places in the series, Roos was eager to secure a better finish, which in turn would force the Russian Kalinina to release her hold on the third overall leaderboard placing. And Roos did it. While Bridge was safeguarding her lead, it was Roos who was delighted to finish in second place.
Today it's a really nice day. I'm climbing up the ladder. I had some good races. Last race was a real battle with Steph and with Erika, and I came in second, so I was really happy with that, because before I had only 3-3-3-3-3 all the time. So it's getting better, and it's also a lot of competition with Elena, the young girl. So yeah, the girls are getting closer, and it's more battling, more racing, so it's getting way more fun now.
After 15 races over the past 4 days, the top 10 were decided for both men and women. Johnny Heineken continued his perfect scoreline of race wins in the final series and heads up the men kiters, with Riccardo Lechese in second. So get ready for some close racing between these two at the last day of the event. In the women's fleet, Steph Bridge continues to dominate at the top, but with Erika Heineken ready to strike back. The final day of the 2013 African Course Racing Championships taking place in the unique arena of Soma Bay in Egypt. With the medal races set to determine the podium finishes, today was lined up to be the most exciting day of racing so far. The top 10 riders in men and women were ready to make their mark and advance through the Repassage series and onto the finals. But who better to explain this to us than fourth overall on the leaderboard so far, Brian Kender.
So for today we have a qualifying series where 10 through 7 are competing. And then the winner of that competes against 6 through 4, and then the winner of that goes against 1 through 3. So if you lose, you're out. If you win, you keep moving forward. So it's going to be tight racing, best racers in the world here, and I'm very excited. Really looking forward to it.
First onto the track were the girls, with the riders placed from 7 to 10 racing head-to-head, and only one of them able to claim the ticket to the next round. After 2 races, it was Poland's Michalina Laskowska that scored a second and a first place, safely ensuring her progress through to the semi-finals. Up next were the men's fleets, riders 7 through 10, and it was France's Maxime Notcher who delivered a knockout performance, and despite being 8th overall on the leaderboard, he dominated with 2 bullets, and with that in his pocket, advanced to the next stage to meet the riders ranked from 4th to 7th. Onto the track. It was then the turn of the women's semi-finalists, with the riders ranked 4th to 7th and including the 15-year-old up-and-coming star in course racing, Russia's Elena Kalinina. The lighter conditions prevailing today seemed to suit her, a preference she confirmed by scoring 2 bullets and going straight through to the finals. Back with the men, and Maxime Notcher now had to rise to the challenge of the big names, like the Americans Adam Koch and Brian Kender, and the Polish Tomek Janiak. But Notcher was on fire today, scoring another 2 first places and easily advancing to the grand final to meet with the top 3 on the leaderboard. In the women's finals, series leader Steph Bridge of Great Britain had to be very careful, as the reigning world course racing champion Erika Heineken was only 1 point behind her. In 3rd and 4th place were the Dutch Katja Roos and the winner of the semi-finals, Kalinina. The wind had decreased and things were going to be trickier around the track, but Bridge had the experience to stay out of trouble and win the first race in a style which Heineken just couldn't match, and held on to 2nd overall, with the series victory awarded to Bridge. Last to go were the men's fleet, where reigning world champion Johnny Heineken had to protect his place from Italian Riccardo Lecchese, 2nd so far in the event, with young German Florian Gruber and the surprise performer of the day, France's Maxime Notcher. In the first race, Heineken easily took the lead, but in the last meters to the finish, Gruber slipped past and took the race win, delivering a major threat to Heineken's position. Heineken would have to play it carefully in the final and deciding race, which he did. Heineken took himself round the course conservatively for him, and the final race glory went to Notcher, who ended his championship in style, scoring his 5th win of the day. But the overall lead stayed firmly in the hands of Johnny Heineken. A wonderful finale to what has been a superbly organised championship, hugely enjoyed by riders, organisers and supporters.
It's been a really fun event here. The last week we've been in Soma Bay racing, 5-day event, and it's been pretty much windy every day. We've had almost 100 of the best kite racers in the world here, and I'd say the competition's probably the best I've been at, or the best it's been at any international competition in the last year or 2.
With Heineken in 1st, Gruber moved up to 2nd place, with Notcher making the surprise appearance to claim 3rd overall. In the girls, Bridge left Heineken in 2nd and Roos in 3rd. After the races, the riders enjoyed an excellent award ceremony, where trophies were presented to the winners. The most rousing applause of all went to Oswald Smith from South Africa, who claimed the overall title of 2013 African Course Racing Champions.
We are very happy to organize this event for the first time in Egypt. We have been working in this file for 8 months. We tried to have it happen and to be success. We had a lot of difficulties first time for us. We learned a lot. We knew a lot about everything, about the operations and the tactics, about the sport, about everything. All of us learned this is something new for us. We're trying to do something very professional, very successful, and everybody was happy. All players were happy. We had a great event. Even God was happy. He gave us wind. He gave us a good forecast, except one day we had 2 hours even this day. So yes, all players were here, top players were here, and everybody is happy and everybody wants to come back. Now we think we need to go to the World Cup. This is our next project. We need to get the World Cup 2015. We know that Egypt have a lot of nice places and we would love to have you all back here.
And with that, the 2013 African Course Racing Championships wrapped up, a truly memorable event in Soma Bay, Egypt, offered by Royal Dream Tours that is committed to a style of travel that is environmentally, culturally, they call this responsible travel. There's no cure like travel to help you unravel the worries of living today. When the poor brain is cracking, there's nothing like packing a suitcase and sailing away. Royal Dream Tours is a member of IATA, the International Air Transport Association, number 90-2-12463. They have always responded to the sophisticated needs of their clients, providing full services. Until next time, thanks for watching.